What's going on, guys? Welcome to day 30 of Horror October 2023. The film that we decided to watch for this day is a film called Opera from the Giallo film director Dario Argento. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different, a little bit longer, because I really want to talk a little bit more about Dario Argento and what I thought about this movie. I am wearing my Suspiria shirt, which I also wore for my Halloween costume that I just posted a little bit ago. So yeah, and then I watched this movie. I've always had a pretty big history with watching Argento films for Horror October. I've watched Inferno, Deep Red, and now this. And I've also seen Suspiria as well, but not for Horror October. And I've just always had like an appreciation for Argento films, really, with their like colors, their shots, the suspense. Really like the suspense, and especially like the different sorts of scores that he employs into his movies. And another thing that's interesting about Argento is that with his films, as far as the releases of them go, it's always complicated when it comes to like whether or not it's like the English version's better or the Italian version's better. Is the English version the original one? Is the Italian version the original one? Because, people in his movies speak English, but they get released in Italy and they often get dubbed in Italian, and there's always like some weird complicated history with it. I watched this movie Opera in English, and people were saying that it was like not good, because it was like dubbed a lot, I guess. But it seemed like the characters' lips were moving with the words they were saying, so it felt like most of the movie was in English, but I mean, I don't know. I gotta like look more into this one specifically. I did a whole video on the movie Deep Red about how it had like a complicated history with the English and Italian versions in itself. So yeah, it's just a crazy history with all that. But yeah, with this movie Opera, I would have to say I didn't like it as much as Argento's other movies, but I certainly enjoyed it still a good amount. I do have to say, like, compared to his other movies, the score in this movie is like bizarre and weird. And I don't get what it's doing here. I feel like it doesn't work at all. It's like a rock heavy metal score, and like it's being employed in this movie, about like an opera singer who's being like, stalked and, hunted, I guess, or, creeped on or whatever. And it's just like, why? I don't get it. It feels like it just doesn't work. And that honestly is like my only like real gripe with the movie. Like I found like the plot to be pretty interesting to see, where it was going with like what was going on with this killer. And then also like the suspense that gets played up is of course like really good. Just because, Argento just has a way of creating like such good suspense with his films. And yeah, we get some really good cinematography in like shots with his with this movie, with like the colors and just like the way like the camera like follows the main character often is really cool. And just a lot of like the different ways he gets shots. Like there's one shot where it's like at like the level of like a table, and like the camera's like pulling away from like the table, and like you can see like stuff on the table, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just, I find stuff like that like really cool. I'm not even like a big like guy when it comes to like caring about cinematography, but like here it's just like, wow, that is just like really cool. And so yeah, with all that being said, this was pretty enjoyable. There was some reveals that happened, of course, that I thought were pretty decent. They didn't like blow me away. Like I kind of had a feeling it might have been what it was. It was like a guess of mine. Like it wasn't like shocking, but like it was still a good reveal, and there was still, even after the reveal, there was like, some good twists as well. As well as along with the reveal. So yeah, and yeah, I'd say overall I really like this movie. It is not as good as Deep Red or Suspiria, or I don't think it might be better than Phenomena. That's like really close. Yeah, but yeah, I really liked it though still. I think it's a good, solid Argento giallo for sure. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I have one more film to watch for Horror October before this month ends in the final hours. So I'll be doing that in just a little bit. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for the final day of Horror October.